Good afternoon, everybody. This is Gladys Agwai, founder of Ignite Within, for another rose-colored lesson. And this is rose-colored lesson number 15. Today's lesson, quit mowing down what needs to be plucked up. So what needs to be plucked in your life? This is about within your life, within your business. What do you keep just mowing over as opposed to plucking out, up and out of your life, of your business, or your career? Have you experienced someone calling, or maybe you've called someone and said, I need help. I've been trying to find the clarity of what to do. I still haven't found it. And I know that if I could just fix this one thing in my life, whatever that is, then I can grow. Because when one thing is off in your life, a lot of times that means other things are off as well. I know there's something better, but should I leave now? What happens if I leave? What if I can't find another job? What if I can't pay my bills? It takes longer than I thought. What should I do? And we continue to mow the grass. We continue to just mow over those weeds that's in our life, right? And I've talked before about the negative tape spiral that we always have, where 85% of our thoughts naturally as human beings are negative thoughts. And those negative thoughts, 95% of the negative thoughts are repeated. So we're constantly in this negative tape spiral. So when we're in situations that we don't like, we are constantly thinking about them and spiraling them over and over and over again in this tape in our head, and bringing those things also out to other people. And, we've grown up saying never give up, right? Never give up, keep it going. But it's also important to know when to walk away, when to pluck something out, and when to just keep mowing over it, right? But most people wait until the decision is made for them. And what happens is then you get rejected. Because what happens when you're not happy in a relationship? You're not happy on a job. You're not giving your best. And so you wait until the decision is made for you, and then you get rejected from that job, that organization, that relationship, and that puts you at a disadvantage. You allow most times to be defined by that. And then you have to exit out of there at a disadvantage, being defined by what has just happened, that rejection, and then you choose something else that you don't like. And so you're put into this situation where this shame of being rejected, this shame of just staying stuck and scared and broken in situations, that shame rises up and then it begins to rule the day. And so these negative thoughts, as I said, are always present in our thinking. Now, it's up to us to kind of switch that mindset that takes us into another place where we're thinking about how do we get out of it. We think about the future, not the problem itself. We stay too in tune with the problem as opposed to what is the solution to the problems. You need to have some understanding about what you are saying first. So you have to ask yourself, when you're thinking about, oh man, I really want to quit, instead of just jumping off that cliff, why don't you start asking yourself some questions? What is making you uncomfortable and unhappy? What is it? Don't run 200 miles an hour with these fleeting thoughts, answering as you running and you just flipping and all of that. Sit with yourself long enough to really understand where you are in your place. Have you done everything that you can do to make it work even? Should you work on a different approach? Or maybe some change has come into the organization or the relationship and it's like, oh my God, I don't want to go through this process. And understanding, well, should I embrace this change? Is this change a good change? Should I embrace it? But there's 3 things that I want you to think about when you're looking at, should you pluck something out? Yourself out, or should you continue to mow? The first thing that you have to do is you have to decide. We have to make decisions, you all. That's why we stay stuck in places, because we're not making decisions, right? Thought out decisions, I'll say that. We make these fleeting thought decisions as we're running 200 miles an hour. So when you're making a decision, you will never have all of the information. It's going to be moving you outside of your comfort zone into this place of uncertainty. And so when you're making these decisions and when you don't have all of the information, I want you to look at what can I do to ensure that this is the right decision, to make this the right decision. I want you to check your internal signals. Do you have low energy, enthusiasm around what you are currently doing? There are external signals that you can look at. If it's a work environment, are there job layoffs? What's happening with your manager and the leadership that's going around? What's happening within the economy that's triggering some things that makes you think, oh, maybe this is the right time for me to start looking to do something different. But what are those external signals that are happening, and how do you quantify your motivation and your feelings to quit? You have to quantify that. I remember going into work in a position that I just hated, and I would cry in the parking lot before I went up in the office and cleaned up my face and put my makeup back on and went on in there and, smiling, and I was miserable. When you are feeling that way, it's time to pluck yourself up out of that situation. But you have to take these signals and you have to take the decision-making process seriously. And so we talked about the first step is making the decision, deciding, going through that decision-making process. And then you got to prepare. Sometimes you don't have to just jump off a cliff. You can prepare on how you're going to go about doing whatever it is that you decide that you're going to do. So you decide without all the information, with the best information that you have, and then you go out and you work your butt off to make sure that that was the right decision. And so you want to set a deadline when you are thinking about quitting. And you can say, well, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to do some research, because you got to do some research and you got to figure some things out. Where am I going to go next? What do your finances look like to even be able to go and do anything? I need to save up some extra money before I can make this, decision to leave, right? But you have to do research in order to figure some things out and prepare for whatever decision you're going to make as a part of your preparation. But you have to understand that in life, change is constant. So you may say, well, I'm going to make a decision whether I'm going to stay in this job or relationship in another 3 months or 6 months. So that's why it's important that throughout your life, your business and career, don't wait until you're at this point of agony where you are hating what it is that you do, the relationships that you're in, the situations that you're in, before you start saying, I got to get the hell up out of here. But you can prepare to leave, because your preparation, and if you do this preparation all along the process, you then can exit with more confidence. And you don't have to exit and then try to find a rebound relationship, or exit and go into some job that you don't like that's going to put you right back in that same spiral. So once you decide and you go through that decision-making process, and then you go through the preparation of determining, am I going to leave? Or yes, I'm going to leave, and to leave, I'm going to do this. And when you execute on it, you can't execute making excuses and all of that. Once you make a decision, whether you're going to stay or whether you're going to go, whether you're going to keep mowing the weeds down or whether you're going to pluck them doggone weeds out, or pluck yourself out like you need to pluck yourself up out of a situation, then you don't want to go forward with that, making up all kind of excuses and going in a non-confident way. You will move even when in fear. You will confidently move even when afraid. But at some point you have to execute. Have you all had people who just continue to talk about the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again? Whether that's about their health, whether that's about their relationship, whether that's about the job. And at some point it's like, okay, so what are you going to do about that? You have to do something about it. You have to decide to do something and prepare and then go and execute on that. And we go through this, well, I won't do it, I can't do it. And at some point you want to get to, I did it. I did it. Yes, I did it. I got up out of that. I plucked myself up out of that. I plucked that negative thinking out of my head that's been weighing me down and keeping me from making the bold moves in my life. So what do you need to pluck out of yourself to have that better future that you want? And I would say as a lesson today is to do some reflective work and be asking yourself your whys that I had mentioned earlier. And go through a decision-making process to decide, to make preparation, to then go and execute. Because this is not about you giving up. It is not about you giving up. And let me say it again. It is not about you giving up. It's about you knowing when you've had enough. Enough already. I quit. Adios. Arrivederci. Bye. See you later. Yes? Because I've had enough. And you knowing that you've had enough. But you've gone through the decision and preparation process and reflective process to understand it, to know where you're going to be going next, so that when you make that pivot, you pivot in the right direction. Your pivot should be this way and not back over here. Yeah? To go through this process. So thank you for joining me again for another rose-colored lesson. Again, this is rose-colored lesson number 15, and I am here with you at noon Eastern Time every Wednesday. And I love being here with you all, and thank you all for joining. Those of you who are live, thank you to those who come afterwards and listen to it on demand. And this is all about you not coming here and investing your time and not doing anything with it. It's about you investing your time to listen, to learn, and then to go out and lead with what you have learned. Listen, learn, and then go out and lead with whatever you have learned and the lessons that you have taken away that can impact your life so that you can have that better future. So thank you again for joining. I love y'all madly, and I appreciate the comments. So if this is something that is resonating with you or you think would resonate with other people, please share it. You can put hashtag replay in there as well. If you have any specific questions about anything that has come up, if you put them in the comments, I'll ensure that that is answered as well. And I'll also plug in my website, ignitewithin.org. So if you want to reach out on a personal level for a complimentary strategy session, we can do that as well. So thank you again for joining. Love y'all. Appreciate you. Have a great day. And better yet, make it a great day. Hey, Miss Stella, and thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Bye. Later. Pluck it. Pluck it. Don't keep mowing over it. Pluck it. Pluck it. Pluck it. Bye.